Body fat, or what scientists call adipose tissue, is often seen as the enemy in our modern world. We spend a great deal of time and effort trying to get rid of it. But it is important to understand that body fat is not inherently bad. In fact, it is a vital part of our biology, a specialized tissue that our bodies have evolved over millions of years to keep us alive and well. Thinking of it simply as stored energy is a good start, but its role is far more complex and fascinating than just that. It is an active organ, sending out signals and performing jobs that are crucial for our everyday survival. So why do we have it? The most obvious reason is for energy storage. Our ancestors did not have the luxury of a well-stocked refrigerator or a corner shop. They faced periods of feast and famine. Body fat was their lifeline, a way to store excess calories from a big hunt or a successful harvest to be used later when food was scarce. This stored energy could keep them going for days or even weeks. It is an incredibly efficient way to keep a reserve of fuel, much more so than storing energy as carbohydrate or protein. Our bodies are designed to be brilliant at holding on to this precious resource. Beyond being a fuel tank, body fat plays several other critical roles. It acts as a protective cushion for our vital organs, like the heart and kidneys, shielding them from physical shock and injury. Imagine it as a form of natural bubble wrap. It also provides insulation, helping us to maintain our core body temperature and stay warm in cold environments. This is why animals living in Arctic conditions have thick layers of blubber. Our own fat layer serves a similar, though less extreme, purpose in our daily lives, helping us regulate our internal thermostat. Furthermore, our fat tissue is a busy endocrine organ, which means it produces and releases important hormones. These hormones help to regulate everything from our appetite to our metabolism and even our immune system. Fat is also essential for the absorption of certain vitamins, known as fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K. Without fat in our diet and in our bodies, we would struggle to get these essential nutrients. So while too much body fat can cause problems, having a healthy amount is absolutely essential for our overall well-being. At the very heart of gaining or losing weight is a principle called energy balance. It sounds technical, but the concept is wonderfully simple. Think of your body like a bank account for energy. The energy we consume from food and drink are the deposits, and the energy we burn through daily activities is the withdrawal. This energy is measured in units we all know, calories. If you deposit more calories than you withdraw, your body stores the extra energy primarily as fat. This is known as a calorie surplus, and it leads to weight gain over time. On the other hand, if you withdraw more calories than you deposit, you create a deficit. When this happens, your body needs to find energy from somewhere else to make up the difference. It turns to its savings account, your stored body fat. It begins to break down this fat to release the stored energy, and as a result, you lose weight. This is called a calorie deficit, and it is the fundamental requirement for fat loss. It doesn't matter what diet you follow, whether it's low carb, low fat, or intermittent fasting, they all work by helping you achieve a consistent calorie deficit. This concept can be summarized by the laws of thermodynamics, which govern energy transfer. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only changed from one form to another. When we eat, the chemical energy in food is either used to power our bodies or converted into another form of chemical energy, body fat, for later use. To lose fat, we must force our bodies to convert that stored fat back into usable energy. This simple truth cuts through a lot of the confusion and marketing hype surrounding weight loss. It is the foundation upon which all successful fat loss strategies are built. Understanding energy balance empowers you to take control. It means you don't have to completely ban your favorite foods or follow an incredibly restrictive plan. It's about managing the overall numbers. Of course, the quality of the calories you consume certainly matters for your health, satiety, and nutrient intake. But when it comes to the simple mechanics of losing or gaining weight, the balance of calories in versus calories out is the undeniable and most important factor. It is the starting point for any meaningful journey towards a healthier weight. Many people wonder what actually happens to fat when we burn it. Does it just melt away or get flushed out of our system? The reality is a fascinating piece of biology. When your body is in a calorie deficit and needs energy, it sends a signal to your fat cells. These cells, called adipocytes, store fat in the form of triglycerides. In response to the signal, these triglycerides are broken down into their components, glycerol and 3 fatty acids. This process is known as lipolysis. These fatty acids and glycerol are then released from the fat cells into your bloodstream. From there, they travel to the cells in your body that need energy, such as your muscle cells. Inside these cells, a further process takes place in tiny powerhouses called mitochondria. Here, the fatty acids are broken down even further in a series of chemical reactions that combine them with oxygen. This process, known as oxidation, releases a tremendous amount of energy, which your body can then use to power everything from walking to thinking. So where does the mass of the fat actually go? This is the most surprising part for many. The fat is not converted into heat or energy directly. The laws of physics state that mass cannot just disappear. When the fatty acids are oxidized, they are converted into two main byproducts. Media group, scientists holding carbon dioxide and water models, animation splitting molecules into CO2 and H2O distribute equally. Carbon dioxide, water. The vast majority of the weight you lose, about 84% of it, is actually exhaled as carbon dioxide. You literally breathe your fat out. The remaining 16% becomes water, which is then excreted through your urine, sweat, and other bodily fluids. This is a remarkable thought. Every time you breathe out, you are exhaling the remnants of your stored fat. It highlights the importance of physical activity, not just because it burns calories, but because it increases your breathing rate. The more you move, the more oxygen you take in and the more carbon dioxide you exhale, facilitating the entire fat-burning process. It's a beautiful, invisible mechanism happening inside us all the time. The fat doesn't just vanish, it is chemically transformed and leaves your body with every breath. When it comes to fat loss, balancing the macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and dietary fats is just as important as managing calories. Each one plays a unique and vital role in the process. Protein is arguably the most crucial player when you are in a calorie deficit. Its primary job is to build and repair tissues, including your muscles. When you lose weight, your body can sometimes break down muscle tissue for energy, which is something we want to avoid. Eating enough protein sends a strong signal to your body to preserve your precious muscle mass, while preferentially burning fat for fuel. Protein also has another superpower. It is the most satiating of the three macronutrients. This means it helps you feel fuller for longer after a meal. Including a good source of protein such as chicken, fish, eggs, or legumes, with each meal can significantly reduce hunger and cravings, making it much easier to stick to your calorie deficit without feeling constantly deprived. Furthermore, your body uses more energy to digest and metabolize protein compared to carbs and fats. This is known as the thermic effect of food, and it gives your metabolism a small but helpful boost. Carbohydrates, often unfairly demonized in diet culture, are your body's preferred source of quick energy. They fuel your brain and provide the power needed for high-intensity exercise. Cutting carbs out completely can leave you feeling tired, foggy, and unable to perform your best during workouts. The key is to choose the right kind of carbs. Complex carbohydrates like oats, brown rice, quinoa, and vegetables are digested slowly, providing a steady release of energy and valuable fiber. This fiber also helps with satiety and supports a healthy gut, which is increasingly linked to weight management. Finally, dietary fats are also essential. Like body fat, they play crucial roles in hormone production and the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. Healthy fats found in foods like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil are vital for overall health. While fat is more calorie-dense than protein or carbs, including it in your diet can improve the taste of your food and contribute to feeling full. A balanced approach where you consume adequate protein, choose smart carbs, and include healthy fats creates a sustainable and effective plan for losing fat while nourishing your body properly. Fat loss is not just a simple equation of calories. It's actually a process conducted by a complex orchestra of hormones. These chemical messengers, regulate everything from hunger and fullness to where your body stores fat. One of the most well-known conductors in this orchestra is insulin. Released by the pancreas when you eat carbohydrates, insulin's main job is to help your cells absorb glucose from the blood for energy. However, it also acts as a storage hormone. When insulin levels are high, it tells your body to store excess energy as fat and, at the same time, blocks the release of fat from your existing stores. Another key player is leptin, often called the satiety hormone. Leptin is produced by your fat cells and sends signals to your brain to let it know that you have enough energy stored and don't need to eat. When you have more body fat, you produce more leptin, which should suppress your appetite. However, When you lose weight, your fat mass decreases, and so do your leptin levels. This drop in leptin signals to your brain that your energy stores are shrinking, which in turn can trigger a pretty powerful increase in hunger and a slowing of your metabolism. This is actually a survival mechanism designed to protect you from starvation. Then there is ghrelin, the so-called hunger hormone. It is produced in your stomach and works in opposition to leptin. When your stomach is empty, ghrelin levels rise, sending a strong signal to your brain that it's time to seek out food. During a period of dieting, ghrelin levels tend to increase, contributing to the feelings of hunger that can make sticking to a plan so challenging. It's your body's way of pushing you to refuel and restore the energy deficit you have created. Managing these hunger signals is a critical part of successful, long-term weight management. Cortisol, the stress hormone, also has a significant impact. In short bursts, cortisol is helpful, but chronic stress leads to persistently high levels. Elevated cortisol can increase your appetite, particularly for high-fat, high-sugar comfort foods. It can also encourage your body to store fat, especially around the abdominal area, which is linked to greater health risks. Understanding these hormonal signals helps explain why fat loss can be so complex. It really highlights the importance of managing stress, getting enough sleep, and creating a sustainable diet plan to keep your hormones working with you, not against you. When people say they want to lose weight, what they usually mean is that they want to lose fat. This is a crucial distinction because preserving muscle mass during this process is incredibly important for your success and overall health. Muscle is metabolically active tissue, which means it burns calories even when you are at rest. The more muscle mass you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate will be. This means your body's engine is running a bit faster all day long, making it easier to maintain a calorie deficit and lose fat. If you lose weight too quickly, or without paying attention to muscle, a significant portion of that weight can come from muscle tissue. This is a major problem. Losing muscle lowers your metabolic rate, meaning you have to eat even less just to continue losing weight. This can lead to the dreaded weight loss plateau, and makes it much more likely that you will regain the weight once you stop dieting. Preserving muscle ensures that the weight you lose is primarily fat, and it helps you build a stronger, more efficient metabolism for the long term. So, how do you protect your muscle while in a calorie deficit? There are two main strategies that work together. The first, as we have already touched upon, is eating enough protein. Protein provides the building blocks, amino acids, that your body needs to repair and maintain muscle tissue. When your body is looking for energy, a high protein intake encourages it to leave your muscles alone and turn to your fat stores instead. Aiming for a consistent protein intake spread throughout the day is a powerful way to send that muscle-sparing signal. The second, and equally important strategy, is resistance training. Lifting weights, using resistance bands, or even doing bodyweight exercises like push-ups and squats sends a direct signal to your muscles that they are needed. This stimulus tells your body to hold on to its muscle tissue, and even build more if possible, despite being in a calorie deficit. Combining a high-protein diet with regular resistance training is the ultimate one-two punch for ensuring that your weight loss journey results in a leaner, stronger, and healthier body composition, not just a lower number on the scales. Almost everyone who has tried to lose weight has experienced the frustrating weight loss plateau. You're doing everything right, the initial progress was great, and then suddenly, the scales stop moving. This is not because your plan has stopped working, or because you have lost willpower. It's a predictable and normal response from your body, a phenomenon known as metabolic adaptation. Your body is incredibly smart and efficient, and it doesn't like being in a calorie deficit. It perceives this as a threat to survival and makes clever adjustments to conserve energy. As you lose weight, your body becomes smaller and lighter, which means it naturally requires fewer calories to function and move around. A smaller body simply burns less energy than a larger one. This alone can be enough to turn your initial calorie deficit into a new maintenance level. On top of this, your body becomes more efficient. It learns to perform the same amount of work, like walking or exercising, using fewer calories than before. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which includes fidgeting and daily movement, often subconsciously decreases as your body tries to save energy. Hormonal changes also play a huge role in this adaptation. As we discussed, leptin levels fall, which signals your brain to slow down your metabolic rate to conserve your remaining energy stores. At the same time, hunger hormones like ghrelin increase, making you feel hungrier and driving you to eat more. This combination of a slower metabolism and increased hunger is a powerful force that creates the plateau. It's your body's attempt to close the gap between the calories you are eating and the calories you are burning, effectively halting weight loss. So, what can you do when you hit this wall? The key is to anticipate it and have strategies ready. You might need to slightly adjust your calorie intake downwards, or increase your physical activity to re-establish the deficit. Taking a planned diet break for a week or two where you eat at your new maintenance calories can help normalize your hormones and reduce diet fatigue. This can make your metabolism more responsive when you return to the deficit. Understanding metabolic adaptation turns frustration into strategy, allowing you to navigate plateaus and continue making progress towards your goal. The world of fat loss is filled with myths and misconceptions, often promoted by companies trying to sell a quick fix. One of the most persistent myths is the idea of spot reduction. This is the belief that you can lose fat from a specific area of your body, like your stomach, by exercising that area directly. Countless people do hundreds of crunches hoping to melt away belly fat. Unfortunately, this is not how the body works. Your body decides where to store fat and where to lose it from based on genetics and hormones, not on which muscles you are working. While crunches will strengthen your abdominal muscles, they won't specifically burn the fat covering them. Another common belief is that sweating more means you are burning more fat. This is why you see people wearing sweatsuits or working out in extreme heat. While sweating can cause a temporary drop in weight on the scales, this is purely due to water loss, not fat loss. You'll gain that weight right back as soon as you rehydrate. Sweating is simply your body's mechanism for cooling itself down. While an intense workout that makes you sweat will certainly burn calories and contribute to fat loss over time, the sweat itself is not the fat leaving your body. Remember, fat is primarily exhaled as carbon dioxide. The idea that certain fat-burning foods can magically melt fat away is also a pervasive myth. Foods like celery, grapefruit, or chili peppers are often touted for their fat-burning properties. While some foods have a slightly higher thermic effect of food, meaning your body uses a little more energy to digest them, this effect is very minor. No single food can override the principle of energy balance. These foods can be part of a healthy diet, but they won't cause fat loss unless you are in an overall calorie deficit. There are no magical shortcuts. Finally, there's the myth that you must do hours of long, slow cardio to burn fat. While cardio is great for heart health and burns calories, it's not the only way. Resistance training, as we've seen, is crucial for preserving muscle and boosting metabolism. High-intensity interval training can also be very effective at burning calories in a short amount of time. The best exercise plan is a balanced one that you enjoy and can stick with consistently. Debunking these myths is liberating, as it allows you to focus your energy on the proven strategies that actually deliver real, lasting results. Achieving sustainable fat loss is not about a temporary diet. It's about building a collection of healthy habits that become a permanent part of your lifestyle. The goal is to create a plan that you can follow not just for a few weeks or months, but for years to come. This starts with finding a way of eating that creates a modest calorie deficit without making you feel miserable. Focus on whole, minimally processed foods. Fill your plate with lean proteins, plenty of colorful vegetables, complex carbohydrates, and healthy fats. This approach provides essential nutrients and helps manage hunger effectively. Consistency is far more important than perfection. There will be days when you overeat or miss a workout. That is perfectly normal and human. The key is not to let a single off day derail your entire journey. Don't fall into the all-or-nothing trap. Simply acknowledge it and get back on track with your next meal or your next planned workout. It's the sum of your choices over a long period that determines your success. Aim for progress, not an unrealistic standard of perfection. This mindset shift is fundamental to making your new habits stick for good. Incorporate both resistance training and cardiovascular exercise into your weekly routine. Aim for 2 to 3 sessions of resistance training to preserve that precious muscle mass and keep your metabolism strong. Complement this with activities you genuinely enjoy, whether it's brisk walking, cycling, dancing, or swimming. When you find forms of movement you love, it stops feeling like a chore and becomes a welcome part of your life. Remember, all movement counts towards your daily energy expenditure, so look for opportunities to be more active throughout your day. Finally, prioritize the fundamentals of good health that support fat loss, sleep, and stress management. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night, as this helps regulate your crucial appetite hormones. Find healthy ways to manage stress, such as mindfulness, spending time in nature, or engaging in a hobby. By focusing on these pillars, a balanced diet, consistent exercise, quality sleep, and stress management, you create a powerful, holistic strategy. This is not a quick fix, but a reliable, science-backed path to losing fat and building a healthier, more energetic you for the rest of your life.